Welcome to Comic Basic Lists, where we try to unravel comic books in 10 minutes or less. Today's topic, the 10 most feared Black Panther enemies of all time. It's no secret that Marvel's Black Panther is rapidly approaching. As more and more details of the movie become released and trailers get dropped, the anticipation grows. In truth, I wasn't much of a fan of the character before I saw him in Captain America Civil War, but most of that can be blamed on, well, my own ignorance. Since that trailer dropped, I've spent my time learning and appreciating the long history of the character. This, of course, includes his diverse gallery of villains. I wanted to take some time to learn a little more about each one and pass that knowledge on to you. In saying that, here are 10 of the most feared Black Panther enemies of all time. Man-Ape is the yin to Black Panther's yang and is one of the quintessential Black Panther enemies. M'Baku is one of the strongest men in Wakanda, and in an attempt to return the city to its primitive ways, he began working with the white guerrilla cult. In his multiple attempts, he was thought to be defeated and killed by Prince T'Challa, but was later revived. Upon his revival, he made his way to America, where he joined a team of villains. As a member of the Lethal Legion, Man-Ape was able to lure Black Panther into a trap. With the help of the Avengers, he was thwarted in his efforts. After his defeat, he was permanently cast out of Wakanda. After his parents died as a result of a plane crash, Hunter the White Wolf was taken in by the royal family and raised as the adopted brother to T'Challa. Sadly, as the two aged, he constantly felt unequal to T'Challa, and as a result of this, his intense jealousy formed. Eventually, he gained control and became the leader of the Wakandan secret police. Unfortunately, he was cast out of the country as a direct result of the damage and over-the-top violence they committed. Born in Wakanda under the name N'Jaka, Killmonger was exiled from the country after his father died in a failed attempt at a coup. From a young age, he was raised in Harlem and over the time developed deep-rooted hatred for T'Challa and Wakanda. He returned to Wakanda with hopes and aspirations to make it great again. He did this by attempting to rid it of outside influences. Along with an ally, he attempted to kill and overthrow the regime. Unfortunately, he was killed in his attempt. Like most comic book characters before him, he was brought back to life. Now alive and filled with rage, he was able to best Black Panther in battle, and thus gain access to the heart-shaped herb that grants the Black Panthers their power. Not being of royal blood, the herb sent him into a coma. Hearing of Wakanda from his Nazi father, Ulysses Klaue spent his early life learning and seeking the nation. As an adult, his efforts were rewarded and he found it. Upon finding it, he immediately began working to steal the precious vibranium it housed. In one encounter, he managed to kill T'Challa's father, T'Chaka, but could not escape unharmed. T'Challa found him and was able to dismember his right arm. He returned to Wakanda to exact his revenge, but was met by the Black Panther and the Fantastic Four. The heroes quickly noticed that something was different this time around, as he had a weapon attached to his arm. The weapon proved to be his doom, and he wound up trapped inside it as he was converted from a living and breathing man into living sound. Even though she's of a different dimension, T'Challa must be on the list of the Black Panther enemies. Born as a sister to T'Challa, she recounts stories of being assaulted and beaten by her brother so that he may ascend to the throne of Wakanda. Seeing no future for herself, T'Challa leaves Wakanda so that she may develop her own magical powers. She finds her way to Latveria and quickly becomes a student to its ruler, Victor Von Doom. Harnessing her power, she waited for the perfect time, and when it was right, she attacked and killed Doom. She immediately took his armor and took control of Latveria. A quiet ruler, T'Challa brought about rapid advancement. In response to the United Nations' unwillingness to help her people after Galactus attacked her nation, she attacked its summit and defeated the Avengers. Morlun is a vampire that has remained alive for centuries. He remains alive by feeding on the totems that are scattered throughout the world. You see, the totems are power sources for the universe. While he can feed on less than adequate sources, for example human beings, if he does, he must consume a pure source to completely satisfy his hunger. Once dead, Morlun returned to life and set his sights on the Wakanda nation. His goal was to claim the Panther totem protected by the Black Panther. In his mission to claim it, Morlun made his way through the kingdom protected by M'Baku the Man-Ape. He made quick work of the defenses and proceeded to devour the Man-Ape by sucking the life force straight out of his body. Once a student of the Hikima Shule or the Wakandan army, Tetu left in search of knowledge beyond what was known to the physical world. Unable to find such wisdom, Tetu returned to Wakanda, but instead of its city, he lived his life in the wilderness. Eventually, he would in fact return to the city, and upon his arrival, he used his now substantial powers of nature manipulation to punish those who exploited those unable to fend for themselves. The Nagandan woman known as Zenzi possesses the ability to bring forth the average person's deepest emotions. She became the leader of the Nagandan army and found an ally in Tetu. Once allied with Tetu, she used her powers to enrage the people of Wakanda and force them to riot. Naturally, this didn't sit well with T'Challa, and he did his best to stop her. The first time around, he was subdued by her powers, and the second, she was knocked out and sent into a coma. It was only after several days that she awoke and she continued her assault on the king. It's believed that Reverend Akabe was once a farmer until guerrillas took refuge in his home. It's actually reported that they repaid the debt by burning his farm, repeatedly stabbing him, and taking his wife. In the ultimate act of revenge, Akabe sold his soul to Mephisto and hunted down each individual associated with his wife, close or not. His home country bordered Wakanda, and his new allies saw him as a way to infiltrate the Wakandan borders. Unfortunately, his newfound allies actually began to assault his own village. Running for their lives, his countrymen fled to Wakanda and took up refugee status. While the refugees grew tired of the living conditions, the Wakandan people grew tired of the refugees. Knowing that this was a clever way to lure T'Challa away from Wakanda, he played along and actually left his home country. While away, Akabe led a coup against T'Challa. T'Challa's stepmother played along with and aligned herself at the side of Akabe so that she could spy on him for T'Challa. Ultimately, T'Challa would return, thwart his plan, and send him into hiding. Like so many others before him, Dr. Doom launched a full-scale invasion upon Wakanda so as to take the vibranium from it. He did this because he knows that vibranium actually amplifies the effect of magic. Luckily, through a combination of efforts, Dr. Doom was stopped at the gates. Unfortunately, this victory didn't come without a price. The aforementioned vibranium was rendered inert, thus leaving the country without its chief export. To this day, Black Panther and Dr. Doom are sworn mortal enemies, and this doesn't look to change anytime soon. And there you have it, the 10 most feared Black Panther enemies of all time. Before you go, if you like this list, do me a favor and subscribe down below. If you really like it, give it a share. Until next time.